Hey, welcome to my channel where we get together every day, a few times a day, and just teach the Bible. That's all we do here. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so you get notified every time I put something out, and you'll get a few things every day, some real short ones, and then this is more like a 3 to 5 minute thing, and once a week you'll get a 15 to 20 minute message. That's on Friday. So I hope you'll subscribe and do everything you can to help me get this out to as many people as I can, so I can teach the Bible to as many people as I can. To say that someone was raised from the dead sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Because of that, people have tried to reason the resurrection out of the picture. In fact, the Christians in Corinth tried to do that. The Apostle Paul fixes that for them and for us in 1 Corinthians 15, verses 12 through 14, where he said this: "But if it is preached that Christ has been raised from the dead, how can some of you say that there is no resurrection from the dead? If there is no resurrection of the dead, then not even Christ has been raised. And if Christ has not been raised, our preaching is useless, and so is your faith." So they preach that Christ has been raised from the dead, but say there is no resurrection because that's just not humanly possible. That's the kind of thing they were doing in Corinth. They were a little bit dazed and confused in terms of Christian stuff. If human reasoning is right and there's no resurrection from the dead, then Jesus could not have been raised from the dead, right? That only makes sense. Bottom line, if Christ was not raised from the dead, two things become instantly useless if he was not raised from the dead. One, the preaching of the gospel, the good news about Jesus. Two, your faith. They become useless if Jesus was not raised from the dead. Gospel means good news. So where is the good news if the guy who died for you is dead? Where's the good news in that? Bottom line, dead guys can do you absolutely no good. I suppose we could gather around his tomb and sing Kumbaya, but if he is not raised from the dead, he has no life to give away and no way to solve anything for us. Faith becomes useless if Jesus is not raised from the dead. Why? Well, you're trusting in a dead guy who can do nothing for you at all. Faith becomes instantly useless. He certainly cannot solve death for you, which is the big issue. But Christ has been raised from the dead. And the assurance of life with him after death is real. It's the most real thing in the world. On top of all that, faith trusts him to beat death for us once and for all. And he does, because he was raised from the dead. Three things are necessary. Always these three things. The life of Christ. He had to show up as God in the flesh, and he did in the virgin birth. The life of Christ is essential. The death of Christ is essential. He came to pay for sin. He alone could make that payment, and he made it on the cross. Third, the resurrection of Christ. Without the resurrection, he would not provide a way off this planet alive, because he would not have life to give. But he was raised from the dead, and he does have life to give. The resurrection is absolutely essential. Hang on to that and never let go. I will talk to you soon.